All right, folks, good evening and welcome to this broadcast by the Hudson River Channel Broadcasting Company. We have the uh, Raiders of Hudson in white playing on your screen from left to right, taking on Chippewa Falls High School in red playing from right to left on your screen. This game was played in advance on April 29th, so this is a recording that I will be announcing over. So please forgive me at times because I will not see the entire field like I normally do when I'm at games. So Raiders come right at them and score literally in the first 24 seconds here. It's a big crossover, it looks like. Trying to figure out who that was that scored. Looked like either Britta Holt or Hannah Hannah Lundeen that scored there. One of those two it looked like, but hard to tell there. So anyway, Raiders get off to a incredible start, bringing the ball down the far right side, getting a crossover, and scoring almost immediately in the first 24 seconds. That might be the fastest.
25 seconds was number 22, Natalie Rampton.
Sorry, Natalie Rampton. I just heard the announcement, and Natalie Rampton with a big goal for the Raiders. Actually, it may have went in off the cross. But again, a heck of a play by the Raiders there right off the bat. That's number 16, Ellie Stubendick in the right corner there, trying to make something happen. And then number 14, Raina Fort, chipping the ball in and being handled by the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. So the Raiders strike quick and early and take a 1-0 lead here in this match. Raiders get it in again and adeptly handled by the goalkeeper, and now they'll have a goal kick here for Chippewa Falls. Again, the Raiders get some activity there in front of the goal, but broken up by Chippewa Falls defense. And the Raiders trying to get it back in. They get one back in, but again handled by the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. So the Chippewa Falls Cardinal in red trying to fight off that early offensive by the Raiders of Hudson in white. And after that first 24 seconds, things have sort of calmed down a bit. Chippewa Falls actually has the ball in the Raiders defensive end here for the first real time. Now cleared by the Raiders defense. Cardinal again trying to sneak that ball through, but the Raiders defense is there. Ball gets out wide to Stubendick again. Sends it up. And that's offside on Natalie Rampton that time. Nice little play there. Good attempt by the Raiders, but timing is everything, and offsides is tricky when you're trying to time it just right. Sometimes the little secret is soccer players try to time it too much, and they can try, too hard to time it perfectly, where if they give their teammate a little more time and not try to make it quite so tight. They take that offsides out of the mix, but nonetheless, you do what you got to do when you're on the field. And the Cardinal had a goal kick there. Raiders collect it and are going to try again to put something on the board here. Stubendick chasing down. She's got it in the corner. She's going to sends a big cross on. That's a little heavy for that part of the field. Sends it way past the goal. I don't think the Raiders are quite ready for that. Anyway, here's another nice chip ball in. Little heel flick there by Ramthen, trying to score that, but didn't get much on it. And the Cardinal get a punt and sent out to about midfield, but the Raiders win that one. Again, Chippewa Falls sending it wide, or the Raiders sending it in wide, trying to make something happen. They're bringing it back on defense, and that was disrupted by Chippewa Falls number 6. I don't have a Chippewa Falls roster in front of me, so I apologize. I don't know any of their names. Natalie Ramthen there chasing that ball down, but to no avail, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be a Chippewa Falls goal kick. Big ball up. Looks like the temperature that night might have been a little chilly. Most of the girls are wearing at least long sleeves, some a little bit more. He's getting carried up. That's Olivia Petty feeding it up to Holter just a little out of Britta's reach, and that'll be another goal kick for the Cardinals. This is a Big Rivers Conference matchup. Even though some of the schools are larger and some are smaller, the Big Rivers Conference is sort of a mixture based on geography more than size, which you would see more in, the Milwaukee, Madison areas where the conferences are built around schools of equal size to some degree. But out here on the western part of the state, you kind of take what you can get for schools in conferences, and a lot of these schools, when they go to sections, will play in sections that match up with their school size. So, for instance, Chippewa Falls would be playing in a smaller section than Hudson plays in the big school section, and River Falls and New Richmond play in typically one of the middle-sized sections within the format. Again, here come the Raiders. It's Allie Stubendick sending it across. There's Britta Holter. That ball snuck all the way through. Britta plays it off. The Cardinals. And looks like the refs are going to give that to Chippewa Falls for a goal kick. It looked like it could have went either way there. Hard to say, but there's a side judge and the ref down there, obviously, making the right calls. Raiders playing it around. That's number 8, Hannah Huntley, putting that ball way up. It's a really nice save there by Armana Rancinici, who chases that ball all the way down to the sideline and kind of chips it back, but nobody home there for the Raiders. And, Nevaeh Tillman sends a high kind of through ball. I think she was hoping that it'd kind of land a little shorter for her team to do something with, but that was in that precarious spot where it could have snuck right over goalkeeper's head. But nicely played by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, who is doing everything she can to keep the score as it is at 1-0 Raiders. Sneaking the ball up. Kind of was a weird bouncer, and I think Ramthen kind of lost it for a second, but she turned around. Nice left-footed attempt there. Didn't quite tag that, I think, the way that I'm sure Natalie would have wanted to, and sends it wide. It'll be another goal kick for the Cardinals. Raiders pick off that kick. Rancinici sends it down to Holter in the corner, and it just gets a little too far out of reach. These turf fields are nothing like the old grass fields back in the day. The grass fields, the ball would be quite a bit slower, maybe even some bounciness to it. These turf fields, the balls just scream around the field, and you got to really watch your touch when you're trying to time it and send people down the field. Boy, that ball looked like it was out of bounds by a mile. Anyway, the Raiders end up kicking it out of bounds, and that's going to be a Cardinals throw. Throw in by the Cardinals, and they try to make a turn, but the Raiders' defense holds strong. Huntley with the clear. Rancinici on the ball. Tries to send it up the middle, and it sneaks through. Holter, good pursuit, and takes a crack at it. Looked like a left-footed shot, and it was not, again, not the heat that I'm sure Britta would have wanted on that shot, and the Cardinals sneak away from another attempt by the Raiders. We're now past the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Raiders continue to lead 1-0 on the Natalie Ramthan goal at about the 24-second mark into the game, which was really a nice play by the Raiders. They got the ball out wide. Stubendick took it down to the corner, put a really nice cross on, and Ramthan put that ball away. So it was just a nice traditional goal. And the Raiders there get a blast. Unfortunately, right at Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. I did not see who took that shot, but that was a pretty solid shot. But again, right at the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. So ball is out to Hannah Huntley, who tries to send it up, but again, you can see the speed of those, especially those low kicks. When you put a little heat on them, they just scream on this turf. So it's a throw by the Cardinals. Trying to play it back, but the Raiders are there to snuff that out. And the Cardinals elect to shield the ball, and that one let it cross the line. That'll be another goal kick for Chippewa Falls.
In for Hudson, number 8, Hannah Huntley. Number 16, Allie Stubendick. Number 21, Lily Rolo.
And some substitutes called out, but I think there might have been a mistake or two there because Allie Stubendick and Hannah Huntley have been on the field the entire game. They didn't just come in, but does sound like number 21, Lily Rouleau of the Raiders, has entered. Lily is a junior midfielder, and she's had a very solid season so far, and it's definitely fun to watch. So we'll see what she puts together out here. And there she is with the ball right now. Sends a nice ball out wide to Stubendick. Or no, not to Stubendick, but now Stubendick's got it. That looks like it's maybe Gracie Nell. A little hard to see the numbers sometimes. Big throw there by Stubendick. Really nice. Two Raiders close there to doing something with it. And I think that was Holter, and but again, kind of handled well by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. Chippewa Falls with some nice passing sequences here. Dancing the ball, probably about as far as they have almost. But the Raiders' defense holds strong and sends it up the field. Stubendick again, trying to work it into the middle, but quite a few red jerseys there, and that ball gets kind of ping-ponged around a little bit. Here's Rouleau in the middle, and she's going to line up and take a long blast. Shot from distance, not a bad. She had some good juice on that ball, but sends it wide, and that's going to be a Cardinals throw-in. I'm sorry, Cardinals goal kick at about the 15-minute mark. Hannah Lundeen in the middle there, trying to work that ball back out. Olivia Petty is chasing it down. She likes to bring it back to Nevaeh Tillman. It goes off of the Cardinals. It's Ramthen up there with the ball for the Raiders. Makes a nice quick turn, pulls back. It's a nice pullback turn and cross by Ramthen. That's a really nice play. Sometimes you do that pullback and then you try to make something, keep trying to put some moves on, and usually often ends poorly. So when you get that cutback and you've got the space, if you can make the cross, that's a great time to do it. So I like to see that. So
Number 7 in for the Cardinals, Akila Williams.
Couple substitutes for the Cardinals. Here comes Stubendick sneaking in, but the defense just was there step by step. Gracie Nell trying to chip one in and sends it wide, and another Cardinals goal kick here.
In for the Cardinals, number 11, Lauren Sauer.
Rouleau fighting it out in the middle, wins that battle and sends it over to Ramthen, who's going to do a little tiny pass to Stubendick. Somehow among all the people, the Raiders are still holding on to the ball, and Stubendick puts that shot up and over the crossbar, and again, a goal kick for Chippewa Falls. Another big blast by the Raiders. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that Raiders coach Aaron Gehring told these girls to start shooting the ball, and it's kind of what you kind of see is they start taking shots from distance. This team in earlier matches really wasn't taking enough offensive shots and attempts, and you got to take some long ones too. You do. You got to keep goalies honest. You got to. Plus, sometimes you can rip those long shots, so you got to take them too. So nothing wrong with what they're doing, but they're certainly shooting more than I've seen in any other match this year. I always told my teams, I coached them, I said, if you play good defense, you'll always tie, because the worst it could be is 0-0. But you're never going to score if you don't shoot. So you got to take some shots, and inevitably you take some good ones and you take some bad ones. But if you don't shoot, you're never going to score. So I always like seeing kids take those shots when they feel it's right. Here comes a free kick for the Raiders. Not exactly sure the transgression. It's a big ball up to Ramthen. Kind of goes off Natalie, and out of bounds will be a Chippewa Falls throw-in, and it looks like there's going to be a group of Raiders at least coming into the match. About 19 minutes into the match, another big ball in by the Raiders, and it sails over the goal. And the Cardinals line up for their goal kick here. Up the middle, Stubindick gathers it, brings it down. But a nice step up on the defensive side, and then Gracie Nell again gets the ball and kind of is in that spot, decides to take a shot from about 21 yards out, and that ball goes a bit wide, except it bounced off one of the Chippewa Falls Cardinals.
Number 10, Kalina Higher.
Kalia Higher enters the game, and the Raiders will have a corner kick here. I think the officiating crews sometimes do things a little differently. I've had some matches where you can sub on corner kicks and some where you can't. So in any event, as long as it's fair for both teams, it's not a big deal. Corner kick there doesn't pan out, and the Cardinals will take a goal kick here. That's a rocket of a goal kick. That Cardinals player, I don't know her name, but she makes it look effortless. She can get some power on those kicks, and she doesn't even wind up much. So she's just got a natural touch to drive that ball on those goal kicks. That said, the Raiders holding it in. Rouleau trying to do something there with the ball, but sneaks away from her, and now the Cardinals try to push it up the field. And they put together a nice sequence there to get it into Raiders territory, but Raiders are a little bit, their defense is pretty powerful. Olivia Petty sending it all the way back to Huntley. Gets it out to Gracie Nell. Gracie's chasing it down. And Kalia Higher is there, steps in and knocks that ball out of bounds, and that'll be a Cardinals throw-in. We're now over halfway through the first half at about 22 minutes. Hudson Raiders in white, the visiting team, leading the hometown Chippewa Falls High School girls Cardinals by a score of 1-0. Goal was about as early as possible at about the 24-second mark, and for the last 21 and a half minutes, we have been held scoreless. I would say the Raiders, though, have controlled the time of possession dramatically, literally probably having control of the ball 18 to 20 of these 22 minutes or so. Cardinals defense, though, holding strong and keeping it close. And, you know, I've seen it happen. I coached for about 30 years at all levels, from teeny tiny little preschool kids up to high school varsity level players and high school teams. And I can tell you, I've seen it all happen. And just like here's a free kick for the Cardinals, must have been offside. But anything can happen if you play hard and you play smart. Nice turn by the Cardinals there, and again trying to move this ball up the field. A little pass back and a little through ball, but the Raiders picked that off. A little errant pass by the Raiders there. Excuse me. Gracie Nell with a nice takeaway play and pass up there. Stubindick in the middle. Playing it all the way back to Nevaeh Tillman. And another big ball in, and there's a goal. That's sometimes why you do it. Trying to see who that is. Guess we'll wait for the announcement. I couldn't quite see which player scored it. There's a big pile up of players hugging each other, and sometimes it's easy to tell and sometimes it's difficult. So the the Raiders sending in a barrage of those longer shots finally get one to hit a good trajectory, kind of that sweet spot
Scoring
of.
on 23:46 for Hudson, number 16, Allie
It
Steubendick.
was Allie Steubendick. I kind of thought so. So good goal by Allie. If you see the goalkeeper out a little bit and you put it in just the right trajectory, it sneaks in there. And if it's tight to the crossbar, it wasn't a rip of a shot, but it was a nice arcing ball, maybe meant even more as a through ball that went a little heavy, but it went in just right, and the Raiders at about the 23-minute mark there took their second goal and have a 2-goal lead. 2-0 is the score in this match.
In for Chippewa Falls, number 15, Nina Farnoff.
Clear there by Maggie McConnell. Rancinici sends it back to Tillman. Gets the ball up. Not sure who that is on the Raiders. Rancinici chasing it down, but can't quite catch up, and that's going to be a Cardinals throw-in. Throw-in comes in, and the Cardinals go for a quick turn and quick pass, but the Raiders are there. Big ball in. And Gracie Nell rattles the cage a bit. That one was tight to the post, so the goalkeeper needed to do something, and she got a hand on it, and then it hit the post, and that's going to be a Raiders corner kick now. So not a bad play by the goalkeeper, and a pretty good shot there by Nell. If it had been about a foot to the left, that would have snuck in the corner for sure. Ava Brown now in for the Raiders. Big corner kick in, and they bury another one. That's Rancinici this time. That's pretty clear. Nice camera work there by my River Channel friends, zooming in on the goal, and really nice corner kick. Kind of put it right, not too tight to the goal, out a little bit so the goalkeeper couldn't do much. It was kind of a low ball, so those can be sometimes tricky to do much with. So Rancinici did a nice job burying it off the fly on that. So now the Raiders moving into that territory. They're up 3-0.
Number 11, Armana Rancinici with the goal for Hudson.
The announcer here having a little bit of a challenge at the stadium, announcing Armana Rancinici's name, but did his best. Here comes Tillman now. She's bringing the ball deep down, and we'll have a throw-in. So it took 24 seconds to get the first goal, and then about 22 more minutes to get the second goal, and then just a couple more minutes or so to get the third goal. So Raiders finding a few seams, maybe having a bit of luck, but overall taking control of this game. Now the Cardinals, though, they get the ball deep down. It's a battle here. That's off the Raiders, I believe. It's going to be a Cardinals corner kick, and this is one of those cases. Corner kicks, they're basically a free opportunity to put the ball into the scoring area, and so you never know what can happen. You just want them if you can get them. So here comes Chippewa Falls. It's actually a great corner kick. Just happened to be a Raider there to head the ball out, but that was a nice ball, kind of up in the air, not too tight to the goal. Through ball. Raiders really kind of going for the long through ball there, but the Cardinals were there to break it up. But now the Raiders will have a throw in, and that looks like Gracie Nell, number 15, taking that throw into Rancinici. Nice little move, and Rancinici takes about a 22, 23-yard shot there. I think somebody's definitely telling these girls to take more shots. They do not usually shoot this much or from such distance. Again, nothing wrong with that, but it's a different MO here. Now down to pushing into the 30th minute, and Raiders of Hudson up 3-0. Another big blast. And it was off the football crossbar, not the soccer crossbar, so it is out of play and will be a goal kick for the Cardinals. As you can see on your screen, the football field goal is right there behind the soccer goal, and
Chippewa, number 6, agent.
that's considered out of bounds because it's a yard and a half behind the soccer goal. But it can play tricks on your brain and your eyes. Here's Rancinici fighting it out in the middle, getting it over to Gracie Nell. Puts a little move on, sends it across. Nobody home for the Raiders. But really, Lily Rouleau is there and steps up, and she takes a blast from distance as well. Sends it wide. We're now under 10 minutes left in the first half of this Big Rivers Conference match. It's broadcast again, brought to you by the Hudson River Channel. I'm not sure which of my colleagues did the camera action. Usually it's Jeffrey Munter. Sometimes it's John Tangen. So not sure who it was, but they both do great jobs of bringing you the video, the digitized scoring on the screen that's tied to the scoreboard at the stadium so that the clock is accurate and the score follows. And all the sound work that you may be hearing as well. So they do a lot of work. They carry a lot of equipment, and we appreciate all of their efforts. My name's Jeff Ion. I'm the announcer. I just show up and talk into whatever device they give me to speak into, but it's a lot of fun. As I said, I coached soccer for many years in Minnesota schools, for junior high all the way through junior varsity and varsity teams, and then devoted myself to traveling soccer coaching with my own two boys who are now in college. So being done with that phase of life, this is a fun opportunity to still be part of Hudson soccer and soccer in general. And I announce for the boys in the fall and the girls in the spring, which gives me a nice hobby both of those times of years. So this is my third year. Definitely fun to watch the growth of the girls over time and the changes in the teams over time. And this year with the Raiders, we have a change in coaching for the first time in that time frame. So Steve Solom, long time varsity girls coach for the Raiders, gave up that position, and Erin Gehring, who she was here's a sneak through ball. Nice try. It's going to end up being a free goal kick for the Cardinals. It's Maggie Salam over there chasing it down for the Raiders. But Erin Gehring has taken over. Gehring was a JV coach for the girls for several years, and Steve is taking a break here in the spring season after, like I said, many years of coaching the Hudson girls, and I believe before that he had many years of coaching the River Falls girls, I think where his own girls went to high school. So Steve is still the boys varsity coach at Hudson High School, though, so Steve not giving up all of his coaching duties. And it'll be fun to see that boys team in the fall as well. So the girls here continuing to, that's a nice sneaky ball through to Rampton, but just a hair too far ahead for her to get before the Cardinals goalkeeper gets her hands on it. Gracie Nell again with a nice takeaway. Pushes the ball up the field, but too many Cardinals in the way. Rampton now in the middle. Nice play by Kalia Heyer to get it outside. Doesn't matter how good you are, it's awfully hard to drive the ball and make a lot of things happen in the center of the field. And there's a little misplay by the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, and Armana Rancinici is right there to capitalize, and the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, it was kind of a tough shot. She deflected it rather than couldn't catch it. Sometimes that's very challenging, though, so it was a deflection, and I think she was trying to punch it out further than it would go, but Rancinici picks up that deflected ball, and not much a goalkeeper can do at that point, and the defense just isn't there, and it's a great play by Rancinici, though, very heads up, and to get that ball and do something nice with it.
406, number 11, Armana Rancinici.
So that's Rancinici's second goal of the match. And the Raiders at about the 30, that was probably at about the 33.5 mark, took a 4-0 lead now. We're about 5 minutes away from the end of the first half. And the Raiders continue to lead now by a score of 4-0.
In for Chippewa Falls, number 5, Sophia Miscanis.
Some pressure deep in their offensive half by the Cardinals, but the Raiders' defense is able to finally maneuver that ball around and push it up the field. Now they've got it up to Rampton. Sends it into Rancinici, who tries to make a cut, but it's taken by the Cardinals, and then there's a tough collision, but nothing. Yeah, I thought maybe there was nothing called, but it looks like they called Rancinici for maybe a little aggressive contact. It looked like it was fairly balanced, but again, that's my perspective from here. The coach or the referees, they've got the on-field perspective, and we always respect that. So, Kalia Heyer gets it out to Gracie Nell. Sends it down the corner to Rampton. That's a really nice passing sequence by the Raiders. I love seeing them work the ball up. Rampton with a nice left-footed cross. Oh, my. That was a blast by number 3, Ava Brown. Wow. Tough angle. Looked like maybe a left-footed, maybe right-footed. But she crushed that ball, and there was nothing anybody was going to do to stop that shot. So the Raiders moved that ball around nicely. It kind of trickled over to Ava Brown on the far side, on the left side, and she destroyed it into the goal. That was a fun one to watch. If this was more like primetime TV, we'd see some repeats of that, and unfortunately, we don't. So you're just going to have to rewind it and watch that goal again if you want to see how great it was.
Scoring for Hudson at 36 again. Number 3, Ava Brown with the goal for Hudson. Brown with the goal at 36.
Raiders now 5-0 on the Cardinals. Cardinals really fought hard the first portion of the game. They gave up a quick goal, but then really held the Raiders off for 20 to 25 minutes before the second goal, but it's
substitution for Chippewa Falls, number 11.
Been a heavy dose of Raiders offense in the last 10 minutes where they've put in about 4 more goals, and sneaky ball there by the Raiders, but a little out of bounds, and that's going to be a goal kick here for the Cardinals. We're now down to about 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Hudson Raiders in white, playing from left to right, visiting the hometown Chippewa Falls High School Cardinals, and in beautiful Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. It's probably, I'm guessing, about an hour or so commute, maybe a little hour and 20 minutes commute for the Raiders. Rampton on a little breakaway. Sends in a good shot, kind of right at the goalkeeper though, so Raiders do not add to their total. Looks like Chippewa Falls is about an hour and 10 minutes from Hudson, where I live at least, so probably about an hour and 25 minutes from Hudson High School. And it's a beautiful little town and area there, Chippewa Falls. School's in a nice setting, right on the river there. I can't remember the name of that river, but easy commute up from Hudson, though. It's a little north of Eau Claire, if you're not familiar with the territory. And just a nice little place to visit. If you've never been there, take the trip. Now down to 1 minute left in the first half. Raiders continue to pour it on. That's Rantham pressing, and going to be another goal kick here. This will probably about do it for the first half. Clock is ticking. About 40 seconds left. About 35 now. We'll get a kick here, maybe a little action, we'll see. Another nice kick there. Cardinals send it out of bounds. We're now down to 20 seconds in the half. Ticking down. Tillman with the throw. Another throw coming, and this is going to about do it here. So we'll be back shortly to watch the second half of this fun matchup between Big Rivers Conference competitors.
That's the end of the first half. The score, Hudson 5 and Chippewa Falls 0.
All right, folks, it's a little bit darker here in the beginning of the second half, and we have the kickoff of the second half of our matchup tonight between the visiting Hudson Raiders in white, playing from right to left on your screen now, taking on the hometown Chippewa Falls High School Cardinals in red, playing from left to right. It was all Raiders in the first half, 5 goals for the Raiders, spread out from the first 25 seconds about to the last few minutes. Long shots, close shots, Raiders kind of have done it all. No headers yet, so maybe we'll see a header here in the second half. But Cardinals have admirably withstood a lot of attempts by the Raiders. But time of possession heavily in the favor of the visiting Hudson Raiders and the resulting 5-0 score. So we'll see what happens in the second half. One thing I can tell you, having watched Chippewa Falls play for years, they will not give up, and doesn't matter what the score is, they're going to play hard and see what they can accomplish. So Raiders have to stay on their toes for sure. And here we'll have a goal kick here by the Cardinals. Must have been parent night. I could just hear that a bit during the halftime feed. This is a recorded game that I am recording the audio for a little bit later. But it sounded like parents' night, so always a nice night to honor the parents of these soccer teams who over the years spend hours and hours driving their kids to practice and games and tournaments, and they give up weekends, and it's wonderful. Both my boys were soccer players and are in college now, and as crazy as those times were, you miss every minute of it. The cost was always there, but it was always worth it. The fun that was had and the experiences kids have on soccer teams is fantastic. So shout out to parents of both teams for all they do for their kids to play this great game and have those experiences in the summer, fall, and winter and spring. It's a year-round sport for a lot of kids. All right, Raiders with a corner kick here. We're about 2.5 minutes into the second half. I think that's Maggie McConnell lining up to kick. It's a pretty nice ball, kind of right where you want it. Maybe just a hair low, but a nice ball. Now she sends a bigger cross in. A little higher and a little too long to do much with, and it's going to end up being a goal kick for the Cardinals. Big blast there. It's like Stubendick over there on the sideline for the Raiders, but it gets away from her. Again, off the Raiders. Oh, I thought that went out of bounds, but maybe not. Might be looking at the wrong line. There's a lot of lines on this field, some that are a little different. Big ball there. Nice save by the Cardinals goalkeeper. She got a shot like that scored on her earlier, and you can tell she was not going to let that happen if she could help it there. And she timed that beautifully, knocked it over the goal beautifully. Raiders will have a corner kick here as a result, but fantastic save by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper there. There's a high ball by the Raiders. Must have came off the foot a little funky and just sailed out of bounds. So Cardinals won't have anything to worry about here, and they're going to have a goal kick to send this ball up the field. The River Channel tries to broadcast as many of the Raider games as possible, so more and more every year it seems like. So it used to be just home games largely. Now more and more away games. So that's courtesy of the River Channel that the broadcast technical team went out to. They made that 1.5-hour commute or so to film this game. I usually go with them if I can, but I was out of town for this game, so I'm actually recording this in the luxury of my basement with the beautiful technology that Apple and all those other companies provide us. So it's really fun, though, to have more of the games broadcast, and Hudson is fortunate to have the River Channel do all that. Raiders sneak another sneaky play, and they're kind of taking shots now all over the place. That's a tough shot to take. You're going to the right, you're shooting to the left at a tough angle, but it was a good attempt. Ball's up. Another quick blast by the Raiders. Sometimes it's you get the ball right where they did there. That looks like Natalie Ranthan, and goalkeeper might be a little far out, so I'd like taking that long shot there. I don't always love long shots too much, but you got to take some, and there's some that are very strategic, and I like her choice there to take a blast. A lot of feel to soccer. You got to do what feels right. Sometimes it's taking a shot. Sometimes it's bringing the ball down. And so, I never would fault my players for the choice they'd make, but sometimes we might have a little chat about when to make some of those choices too. So, but anyway, Raiders are playing well, sitting on a 5-0 lead at the 46-minute mark, and continuing to have attempts. Rampton with a nice little heel turn there. Now carries it up, no one challenging. That was a pretty long shot there. That was about a 28-yard shot. Sometimes when teams get these leads, they they all sort of want to start making those goals too. So, but it's good to take those shots and get some practice with them in game situations too, because you need to take some of those every game. So there's a lot of good happening here. Ooh, it's a nice ball in there. I love that crossing action though. And that's off the Raiders, so that'll be a goal kick though. But I love when they work the ball down to the corner and get a nice cross in and see what happens. Nice shot there. Raiders winning an awful lot of the 50-50 balls off the free kicks and the punts. They just are moving right to the ball, going and getting it. Teams that win more of those 50-50 balls generally have more success. Other big statistics, time of possession. Raiders are really dominating that right now. And another really powerful stat is just how many times do you get the ball in the other team's goal box area? And the Raiders have had quite a few of those. So here they are bringing it down. Cutting it in. Lundeen sends it over to Petty. Olivia sets up. She's going to take a rip. Not a bad rip. That's from about 20 yards out. Not a bad rip. Kind of a low bouncing blast, and it went a little wide of the goal. Raiders up 5-0, pushing into the 49th minute of the match. Getting dark there in the stadium. This is earlier in the season, in I think early April actually, so a little less sunlight at that time, but fortunately these stadiums have beautiful lighting systems, and those are clearly on. A little back and forth takeaways there by both teams, and Cardinals get a clear. Nevaeh Tillman here with the throw. Sends it up to Petty, who's there. Tries to get a quick turn, saves it. And that's off the Cardinal? No, they're going to call it as a goal kick for the Cardinals, and Petty kicked that ball out apparently. So Raiders moving that ball around. There's a big cross in. I like that. Oh, we lost a little bit of focus there, but the team brought it back nicely. Some call made there. Not sure what it was. Must have been a offsides quite a bit before that, because the ball was placed nowhere near where it was. So referee must have communicated well. Everybody seemed to understand, and got that ball right where it needed to be and kicked very quickly. Tillman with another throw here. Unchallenged, it gets into Petty. Sends it wide. Looked like Hannah Huntley over there on the right sends it up out of the reach of Rancinici. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Cardinals. Rampton with the ball. Sneaks it through. Rancinici takes a little chip shot action. Not sure what her intention was there. That's kind of that in-betweener. Tough to get your hips around to get that shot on goal from where she was, but put a nice little chip on it. Just was maybe a little strong to be a good pass, but good attempt. Again, that's how you develop your feel. Oh, and there's Lundeen. Tries to time the blast there, but that ball bounced a little high for her. And then the Raiders, I think that was Rampton with a heading opportunity, but nice play by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper to foil that attempt by the Raiders. Raiders again sneaking it through, and Rampton with a blast, but again a shot right at Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, and she handles it well. Sends a big punt up the field where her teammates won that 50-50 ball, and they're trying to carry it up the field. Raiders turn it back around and send it up. A little heavy. Raiders pick it up though. And there's the Raiders with a good finish. Looks like number 9, Britta Holter with the goal for the Raiders. It's good ball movement by the Raiders. And a nice play by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, but she wasn't able to hold on to that ball, and it trickled past. And sometimes what happens is offensive players just sit and watch all that happen, and other times they crash. And Britta Holter was crashing, which is what you want them to do, which means they're running towards the goal. And then when there's that deflection, you're there to pound that ball into the goal, which is exactly what Britta did. And that was a great goal. So nice job, Britta Holter.
Scoring the Hudson goal of 52-46 is number 9, Britta Holter.
Raiders
Holter
now
for Hudson at 52-46.
leading 6-0. About 26 minutes left in the match. Raiders send that ball in from distance, a little out of reach of any of the strikers that could get there, and nicely taken by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. Despite 6 goals, Chippewa Falls goalkeeper has played a nice game. She's made a number of really great saves, and a lot of the goals there's not much she could do about anyway. So hats off to her so far for a nice game, despite a score that could be frustrating for a goalkeeper. Raiders with a quick turn, going down the line, trying to use some speed. And a little extra pushing by Rampton is going to lead to a foul and a free kick for Chippewa Falls. Deep in their own territory. They get it up to a teammate. A little bit of tangledness, but no foul, and it's kind of equal. And a blast from Hannah Lundeen from distance, but a little bit high, and goes over the goal. Raiders continuing to move the ball around, pushing it up the field. Nice play there. I want to say that was number 7, Maggie McConnell. Ball goes in. I think that's Holter there, bringing it back to Olivia Petty. He's setting up, and she takes a rip from about 28, 29 yards out. And it goes wide. Raiders the Chippewa Falls with the goal kick here. Couple substitutes coming in, so a little pause in the action.
Number 6, Sophie Bass. Number 10, Celia Hire for Chippewa Falls. Number 7.
Nice save there by Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. In for the Raiders, Kalia Hire back in the match, and number 6, Sophie Bast, Sophie's a midfielder and in the match, I think, for her first minutes of this match. So Raiders continue to lead 6-0. That's the Hudson Raiders in white. Big ball by the Raiders. Everyone's just kind of letting that one go. That'll be another goal kick for the Cardinals. But Hudson Raiders are in white. Usually they're in blue when you see them on these broadcasts, but the visiting colors for them tonight are white. They're playing from right to left on your screen, and the hometown
for Chippewa Falls, Eddie Buchanan.
Chippewa Falls Cardinals playing from left to right on your screen in the red uniforms. Blast from distance for the Raiders, and that ball goes over the goal, and it'll be yet another goal kick for the Cardinals. A little shove there by number 21 of the Cardinals. Going to give the Raiders maybe their first free kick of the night off a penalty. And Maggie McConnell usually takes those if she's in the game. She's got a nice touch, nice distance. This one is well within her range. She's actually lining up to shoot that ball, and it looked like at least, or it might have got away from her a little bit, but it was kind of a low blast, which indicates going after the goal a little bit from pretty good distance. But she put some nice heat on that ball. Got to give her that. It's kind of directed right at the goalkeeper, though, unfortunately, and saved by the Cardinals there, but Raiders end up with it eventually here and are pushing right back down into that scoring area. Big punt there. Cardinals are kind of coming after those balls this half. They lost a high percentage of those plays in the first half, but the second half they're coming out and challenging and winning some of those 50-50 balls. Score at halftime was 5-0 Raiders. We're 19 minutes into the second half, and the Raiders have scored one on the Britta Holter score. Raiders looking to add to it. Kalia Heyer carrying the ball up. Nobody really challenging, so she's able to take that. Lundeen with a shot from distance and sends it left of the goal a bit, and will be another goal kick for the Cardinals.
In for Hudson, number 2, Maggie Salam. Number 21, Lily Rollo.
Raiders again with some good opportunities. Rampton with just too much arm and too much lean. That'll probably always be called there. So free kick for the Cardinals. Again, I don't know what her name is, but that Cardinal player she gets some seriously good power on her kicks without really, doesn't look like she puts much on it, but she really hits it well. In for the Raiders now at the last round of substitutions a few moments ago was number 2, Maggie Salama, and number 21, Lily Rouleau in the match again. Raiders with a corner kick attempt. They're huddling up in the middle. I don't know if they're working on a play here. Probably. Kind of decides who's going to go where. And they're playing that one short. Sometimes allows you to bring it out and give you a different attack angle. And the Raiders very close to a seventh goal, but send that ball awkwardly a little bit to the right. The whole right side of the goal was open, but that ball was moving weird and bouncing weird, and the Raiders weren't able to get a solid, accurate blast there, which happens, just happens. Kicking a ball it's a real challenge when it comes to the timing and where your body is at that moment. How high is the ball? Which way is the ball moving? Is it spinning? So many variables. And you got to kick it when you get the chance. So sometimes you kick it early and you send it high, and sometimes you kick it late and you send it low. You watch the best players in the world and they put the ball over the goal a lot. They send it wide a lot. So it's tough when it's your feet. All right, we're down to 18 minutes, 17 minutes maybe more is accurate, left in the match. Raiders of Hudson continue to lead 6-0 over the hometown Chippewa Falls Cardinals. This broadcast is brought to you by the Hudson River Channel. Hudson River Channel broadcasts of many sports, boys and girls soccer most predominantly for me to be involved in. Brought to you by the River Channel for most games in the fall and spring. Those matches are all brought to you typically on the YouTube. And there is a nice settling play. Brings that ball down. That's, I believe, Allie Stubendick. And she settles that ball nicely down. It came to her in a great place, not offsides. She doesn't rush it. She settles it, sets it up, blasts it where the goalie isn't, and the Raiders now take a 7-0 lead over the Cardinals. As I was saying before, though, the River Channel broadcasts most sporting events on both YouTube, their YouTube page, and on their YouTube channel. Oh, my apologies. That was Sophie Bast. I thought it was 16. It was number 6. Sophie Bast of the Raiders with a heck of a savvy, calm, collected goal there for the Raiders. Nice job, Sophie Bast. So again, River Channel broadcasts on YouTube, their YouTube channel, the River Channel of Hudson YouTube channel, and you can find most of the games by the Raiders, girls and boys there, but also usually broadcast on Facebook as well. So, couple options. Nice ball there, nice header by the Raiders. Not on target, but I love seeing them get a head on it, and they must have heard me when I said that's about the only kind of goal they hadn't scored. Good attempt there by the Raiders. So the recordings of the game are only found on the YouTube channel, though. So Raiders with a cross. There's just non-stop attacking by the Raiders. Rouleau trying to keep it alive in the middle. All the Raiders smelling a little bit of blood, wanting to score. Looks like it might be misting a little bit, or there's a little fog in the air. Hard to say from what I'm seeing on the screen here. We're now down to about 14 and a half minutes left in the match. The Hudson Raiders in white leading by 7 over the Chippewa Falls Cardinals. Free kick here. Maggie McConnell with a blast sends it over the goal. It'll be another goal kick here for the Cardinals. Some games there's not a lot of scoring, and some games there's a lot. And they're both fun in different ways, but it's certainly fun to see the girls put that ball in the net, and some players who maybe don't always get as many offensive opportunities getting some tonight and making it worth the wait and capitalizing. So very fun. Cardinals, despite the score again, they're not giving up. I give them a lot of credit. They are working hard and trying to, keep things moving and happening. And kudos to them and their coaches for that effort. Out of bounds will be a Raiders throw in. Nope, Cardinals throw in, sorry. Big ball in by the Raiders. Lost a little bit of focus on the screen there right as it went to the goalkeeper, but she was able to hold on, and when the fuzziness disappeared, she held the ball. So Raiders continuing to challenge the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper. Now they're pushing it up the field again. Looked like a foul called, I guess it was. Not sure what, maybe a little, again, too handsy by Ramthan. There used to be a mentality that fouls in soccer were bad, and, that if players got fouls, they shouldn't be doing that, but if you're going to be playing this sport aggressively and competitively, there's going to be collisions, and there's going to be some gamesmanship, a little bit of grabbing, some pushing, some shoving. It happens. So if you're going to compete, there's going to be some fouls. What I appreciate here in this match, nothing really overtly dirty or hard. The girls are just playing good, hard soccer, and it's fun to watch. Another goal kick here for the Cardinals. We're pushing into the final 11 minutes of the match. Raiders of Hudson continue to lead 7-0. Rouleau collecting that kick. Comes off her a bit awkwardly, and the Cardinals are able to send it up the field a bit. But again, the Raiders' unrelenting defense, keeping the ball up for their offense. A little battle there at the end, but sneaks across the goal line, the end line, and will be a goal kick for Chippewa Falls. Looks like Chippewa Falls has a nice contingent of helpers around the field collecting balls as they fly out of bounds, which has allowed their ladies to keep this game moving. There's nothing worse than in soccer matches when you have to chase your own balls and just waste a lot of time. Can be tiring on the players, so it's definitely wonderful that teams now do everything they can to have some young people or other people there to get the balls and keep the game moving. Now under 10 minutes, big cross in. Nobody there for the Raiders to put much on it, but they're going to try again. There's Rouleau. Sends a hard ball across, but deflected by the Cardinals. Cardinals get a big clear this time. There's Holter back manning the center D, it looks like. And sends that ball wide. Raiders stay on it, though. Send it deep down the field, and it sneaks out of bounds, and it'll be a Cardinals throw-in. About 9 minutes left now. Cardinals with the clear. Nice ball. Trying to make a move, but Raiders defense just tough. Two defenders everywhere, it seems like, that when the Cardinals get the ball. Good two-person defense by the Raiders overall. What that means is you usually have one person attacking the ball, trying to force a defender in one direction or another, and then another player there to try to pick the ball off. And when done correctly, it's tough to beat by an offense. It's going to be a Raiders throw now at about the 8-minute mark. Quick throw in. Rouleau. Over to Gracie Nell, trying to make something happen. Little pass move out. Holter sends a low, kind of through ball there, a little too low, a little too hard, and gets away from the Cardinals and will be a goal kick for Chippewa Falls. Raiders still moving hard to get that ball. Working it around. Trying to sneak it through the middle, but nobody home. And a little misplay by the Cardinals. But the Raiders eventually take a tough angled play there. I don't know if that was a cross or a shot, but either way it went out of bounds, and it was going to be a goal kick here for the Cardinals. The ball's up. Raiders send a deep ball down out of bounds. It's going to be a Chippewa Falls throw-in. Now down to about 6 minutes and 15 seconds. Hudson Raiders in white, continuing to lead by a score of 7-0 over Chippewa Falls High School in red. It's a nice passing sequence by the Raiders. Clea Higher, it looks like, takes ultimately the final touch and takes a shot. Definitely don't think Clea got everything on that she wanted, but sometimes that's the way it goes. But shot went to the lower right corner, but the goalkeeper able to pick that up. Maggie McConnell there was a nice takeaway. They sneaked the ball through. And an offside call on Ellie Stubendick there. Now down to just a bit over 5 minutes. Holter pushing the ball up. Raiders again go for a long ball. Mishandled a bit by the Chippewa Falls goalkeeper, but she keeps it in bounds and keeps control. And gives it a punt. Were this a different game, Raiders would probably have noticed that and start crashing, but the Raiders keep sending the ball in from distance right now, and that crashing strategy isn't going to do much in this case. So Raiders defense, Chippewa Falls gets the ball down, and the Raiders defense adeptly picks it right back up and starts moving down the field again. About 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the match. The Raiders, throughout this beginning part of the season, have had some challenges, I think, putting the ball in the goal a bit. So it's good to see them rattle this out, and this hopefully will give them a lot to build on for scoring the rest of the way through the Big Rivers Conference matches and some non-conference matches coming up before sections kick in and things like that. Now down to about 3.5 minutes. Cardinals again trying to get something going. They'd love to get something on the board. Raiders keep it down in their end though. The one thing about the Raiders, they play defense all over the field. Their offense tries to help by keeping the ball on the offensive side, by playing defensively, and the midfielders do the same. And then when you got people defending everywhere, it can be really tough to get the ball into your offensive half. So kudos to the Raiders tonight for playing everywhere. Down to 2.5 minutes about. It's been a good match. Seen some good things from both teams. Raiders with quite a bit of firepower tonight, though. Again, the Raiders right there. A little scrum in the front, but the Cardinals able to get it out. They've got some nice little passing sequence going there. Inadvertent handball for the Cardinals, unfortunately. Going to give the Raiders a free kick. I don't know why I said unfortunately, but you hate those inadvertent handballs. Cardinals were kind of getting something going there, but that momentum is shifted, and Maggie McConnell lining up a free kick here. Takes a big blast in at the goalkeeper again. And nicely handled by Chippewa Falls. A minute and a half left now. Raiders will definitely walk out of here with this victory. The question will be, is it going to stay 7 or would that maybe be more? And the Raiders are going to get a corner kick here with about 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Maggie McConnell coming in to take the kick. Some of this also is just a good way to let the clock tick. Now down to about 1 minute. There's a ball by McConnell. It's a nice ball. That's really a great spot to put it right about 10 yards out. I always tell my players about 8 yards out, 10 yards out. Kind of where the penalty kick marker is ideal. That was a nice ball. Nobody there to pound it home, unfortunately. So Raiders with a quick throw in here.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Final score in tonight's match: Hudson 7, Chippewa Falls 0. Give both teams a round of applause for a great game.